Hey guys, Rick Stone here from Our Stony Acres. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different on my channel. So my garden is pretty well established. It's been there for about 10 years. We're about out of space, not a lot of places for us to do a lot of new stuff. But my daughter and her family just bought a home last summer. It has some interesting shade challenges, and so we are going to be using this raised bed by Smart Pots to deal with some of the sun issues that she has in her garden, and we're going to plant a garden here for her. So before we get started, please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click that notification bell so you get noticed every time I release new videos. Make sure you go follow us over on Instagram as well. We've got a good following going there, and we'd love to have you follow us there. And then a big thank you to Smart Pots, who is sponsoring this video and who provided us with this fun little raised bed that we are going to be using to get planted here at my daughter's house. So last summer, my daughter and her family moved into this cute 1960s built home. So the yard is very well established, and this was a family home that they bought, and it has some unique gardening challenges in the fact that they have these big, beautiful juniper trees that shade their backyard and even their front yard as well all afternoon. And so the best sun of the day they're missing completely. Now they do have a few sunny spots, like right here against this wall, gets about 5 to 6 hours of sunlight a day, which is kind of right there on the edge. But we found this spot right here. So if you look back here, there's this spot that's actually on their concrete patio, but it's kind of tucked away in this little corner. It's not something that they're going to be able to use for anything else. And it gets about 8 hours of sunshine a day, which is perfect for a vegetable garden. So we're going to use this raised bed garden by Smart Pots, and it's kind of a fabric one, and you'll see it's kind of a fun raised bed. So we're going to set that up right here so that they get plenty of sunshine, and she's going to be planting a few squash, some peppers, and some tomatoes in this bed. So before we actually get planting, let me talk to you just a little bit about the Smart Pots Urban Raised Bed Garden. This one that we got is a 2x4 foot, which is going to fit perfectly in that area. There are a few things that you need to go along with this. So the frame is actually made out of 1-inch PVC pipe, and you need two 10-foot lengths of PVC pipe for this raised bed. And then you're going to cut those up. The dimensions are on the package. You're going to cut those up. I just used a hacksaw. If you've got one of the PVC cutters, that would probably go a little bit easier, but ultimately, I cut the 10 or so pieces that this bed needs in, a little under 10 minutes. It really wasn't a big deal to cut these. And then you're also going to need 2 T's and 4 3-way connectors for this bed. And then the bed itself uses about 13.5 cubic feet of soil. Now you could cut that down a little bit if you wanted to add some branches and things like that to the bottom. We're not going to worry about that today, but if you were concerned and wanted to kind of bring down the total amount of soil that you were putting in that bed, you could fill, maybe the bottom 6 to 8 inches of that bed with some type of wood material or something like that, and then put the soil on top. Soil that we're going to use is just a raised bed, organic raised bed mix, and one that was just available at one of the local big box stores, and then the PVC pipe, and then we just need the raised bed, and we are good to go. Now, one other thing that we are going to do, I only bought 12 cubic square feet of actual potting soil, and we are going to put another 2 feet of compost, a good organic poultry-based compost mix into the soil as well, just to make sure that we've got plenty of nutrition in that soil to get them started off on a good foot, okay? All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you how to set it up. It's really pretty simple to do, and then we'll get it filled and do a little planting. Okay guys, I decided to do a little bit of a voiceover here so that you didn't have to go through the whole process with me. Overall, it took me about 25 minutes to put this together. 10 minutes to cut the pipes, about 5 minutes to put the bed itself together, and then about another 10 minutes to fill it up. So you're looking at about 25 minutes worth of time to get this whole thing going. Now, as I started to put this together, I put the ends on first, and then I put the legs on as well. And that ended up being a little bit of a mistake because there was too much tension on the pipe and I wasn't able to get those together. So I ended up taking those legs off and putting the entire top frame together first. and then I put the legs back on after that. It's just kind of like putting Tinker Toys together or something like that. It was pretty simple to do. We didn't use any glue, and I'll talk a little bit in a minute about why and what you can do instead. But ultimately, really easy to put this guy together. Now, if you are interested in buying one of these SmartPot urban raised bed gardens, they are available at smartpots.com. I have put a link down in the description of this video that you can click on, and if you use the checkout code STONY, you'll get 10% off. So there's a 10% discount for all of my listeners if you use that code STONY. Here's a kind of look of the finished product before we filled it up so that you guys kind of see what it's supposed to look like. Again, it was really simple to put together. So fill up went really smoothly. One thing that I did want to make sure that I pointed out is as you add these layers of soil to your raised bed garden, you want to make sure that you water each layer in, because we don't want any dry spots. We don't want any dry pockets of soil, and so make sure that you water those in really well so that we have a nice even moisture throughout to start with, okay? So again, pretty easy to put together. All right, so this is the bed all filled up. It ended up taking exactly what they told us it would need. So we did 12 cubic feet of the raised bed mix, and then I added about a cubic foot and a half of the organic compost, and it filled it right up. I'm sure there'll be some settling at some point, and so we'll just add compost when that happens, but filled up nicely. You definitely could, fill up some of that bottom space. This guy's 18 inches deep. We wanted to keep it that way because we're going to be growing tomatoes in here, and tomatoes have a really nice deep root system, and so we want to be able to have plenty of room for that. She may put some potatoes in here in the future, so we wanted to have that space. But if you weren't concerned with that, you definitely could put some wood in the bottom of this, and that would take up some of the space, and you wouldn't need quite as much of the soil. But overall, filled up really nice, held up everything really well. The one thing with these attachments, they don't really need to be glued. You don't have to glue them. If you find that they're coming apart at all, it's really simple to just put some 1-inch screws just right here in the joints, and that will work really well as well. So let's get it planted. Okay, so we are going to plant this Roma tomato, and I wanted to kind of show this guy to you. There's a lot of stuff. So this is a store-bought one, and we've got just kind of a lot of garbage right here, and we actually want to plant this fairly deep. So I'm just going to pinch these off, because what's going to happen is the plant is going to root along the stem. So if we just pull these off, kind of all that garbage at the bottom anyways, it's not going to grow very well. I think I'll even go to right here, and then we'll pull off these seedling leaves. And then what we're going to do is we're going to plant this all the way up to here, and that will allow it to root and get us a little bit stronger root system. So let's just go ahead and we'll put it in right here. So right like that, and then we'll put a little tomato cage on it. It's a Roma, so it's a determinate, which means it's probably only get about this big, and that'll be perfect for this little spot. Okay, so other things that we're going to plant in here along the back, we have planted some cucumbers. We're going to let those grow up and use the fence as a trellis. That's a nice thing about this area. And then we've got 3 pepper plants that we are going to put right here. We've got a basil that we are going to plant right here in the corner, and then she wants a little bit of something that'll kind of spill out, and so we've got a pumpkin, and this is just a carving pumpkin for my little grandson for Halloween, and so we're going to plant that right here on the corner, kind of just let it spill out, and the vines can kind of spill out here on the concrete. So this should fill in really nice, and if we need to, we may throw in a few flowers or something. We'll see after things get established. We could probably throw a few more things in here if we needed to as well. So we'll get the rest of this planted, and then we'll kind of wrap up. Okay guys, well here's the finished product. I'm like super excited. I had a lot of fun. It was really easy to put together. Seems like it's gonna be pretty sturdy. These are supposed to last for years and years and years. So pretty happy with it. We've got, again, tomatoes, peppers, basil, some cucumbers back here, and a little pumpkin. So this will be a nice little garden for him here in this spot that's kind of out of the way. Perfect dimensions because it doesn't go out in our walkway at all. So I think this is a really good solution. Found him a sunny spot that's going to, give him something. It's nice and close to the water supply too, so should be really good for him. And I'm super excited, proud papa, that my little daughter wanted to have some vegetables growing at her house too. So thanks again to Smart Pots for sponsoring this video. They gave us the container and they were the sponsor of this video. What we're going to do is we're going to do some follow-up videos. So we'll come back probably here in about 6 weeks, take a look, see how things are going and how they're growing, and we'll also kind of show some of the stuff that they're doing in some of the Smart Pots as well to kind of deal with this unique yard of theirs that doesn't have a lot of sun. So again, thank you to Smart Pots and thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I think this is going to be a good solution for them. Okay, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click that notification bell so you get noticed every time I release new videos. Go over and follow us on Instagram as well, and we'll be talking to you a lot more this winter or this summer as we kind of go through a lot of the fun stuff that we have happening in the garden this year. Thanks guys. Talk to you later. Happy gardening.